Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we're going to dig into a really interesting text that makes a pretty bold claim. It basically says our whole modern idea of chasing happiness, it's a total trap. The argument is that we're all out here looking for something permanent in a world where, well, everything is designed to just fade away. So that leads us right to the core question this whole piece is built around. What if? What if the constant chase for happiness is the very thing that's actually keeping us from it? It's a fascinating thought, right? Let's dive in and see where this idea takes us.
Okay, so let's get into the first big point. The text kicks things off by looking at this belief that pretty much all of us have, right? This idea that there's a direct line connecting the money in our bank accounts to how happy we feel.
And it's a simple premise, isn't it? We chase money because we think it's the ticket to happiness. Plain and simple. But, and this is a big but, the source points out there's a huge flaw in that way of thinking.
And that brings us right to the heart of the problem that the text identifies. You know that feeling you get when you finally achieve something, that rush of joy? Well, it just doesn't stick around.
So the source breaks down this cycle that, let's be honest, probably sounds super familiar to a lot of us. First, you desire a goal, a new job, a house, whatever. Then you achieve it. And for a minute, there's that amazing feeling of joy. But then you just get used to it. The new becomes normal. That awesome new car just becomes your car. And before you know it, the joy fades, boredom creeps in, and you're right back where you started, looking for the next thing to chase. The text says this isn't some kind of mistake, it's just how worldly happiness works. It's always a short-lived high. Okay, but it gets even more complicated in our modern world, doesn't it? The text points a finger at a very specific culprit that's making this whole cycle of dissatisfaction spin even faster, and it's something that's literally disconnecting us from our own lives.
You know what the text calls them? Time thieves. Think about it. Our phones, our apps, they're not just distracting us, they're actually stealing our awareness of time itself. We just scroll, and suddenly days, weeks, even years have flown by. We don't even notice our kids getting bigger or ourselves getting older. And according to the source, this isn't just about being distracted. It creates a kind of spiritual laziness. It pulls us away from the stuff that really matters, like reflection and acts of worship.
And then, bam. One day it just hits you, this sudden, really heavy feeling that life has just passed you by, and you weren't even really there for it. So that personal crisis is really a doorway to the deepest point in the text. See, the problem isn't just that our happiness doesn't last. It's that life itself doesn't last.
I mean, the author couldn't be clearer on this. Everything in this world is fleeting. No matter what you own, no matter what you achieve, it all passes. It fades away and just becomes a memory. There is absolutely no permanence here. And when that realization truly sinks in, wow, it forces you to ask some really tough questions.
And this is where the tone really shifts. It becomes this urgent internal questioning. It starts with this: why this laziness?
And then it builds, right? Why this procrastination? I mean, seriously, why do we keep putting things off when we know our time is so short?
And it all leads to the one big question that flips this whole discussion on its head. Why don't I work for the eternal goal? You know? If everything here is just temporary, why are we pouring all our energy into it, instead of focusing on what the author believes is the only thing that actually lasts?
Okay, so after hitting that rock bottom of questioning everything, the text starts to offer a way out, a really powerful alternative. It completely redefines what real happiness could look like in this life.
And what's so powerful here is the distinction the text makes. It's so clear. On one side, you have that fleeting happiness. That's all about getting something new. It's external. It's temporary. But on the other side, you have true contentment. And that, the source argues, is all about appreciating what you already have. It's internal. It's reflective.
So this is the key takeaway, right? It's all about a massive shift in your perspective. The source is basically giving us a way to get off that hamster wheel of temporary joy. It says, stop chasing and start appreciating. True happiness, true contentment, it isn't found in getting the next big thing. It's found in just taking a moment to be grateful for the blessings you have right now, big and small. And all of this builds to the central, most powerful concept in the entire text. This is its ultimate answer to that lifelong search for a joy that actually lasts.
This quote from Ibn Taymiyyah really just sets the stage perfectly. He said, "There is a paradise in this world. Whoever does not enter it will not enter the paradise of the hereafter." Wow. Just think about that. The idea that there's a paradise you can experience right now, in this life, and that finding it is key to what comes next. So, what on earth is he talking about? What is this paradise?
And here it is, the ultimate answer the text gives us. The paradise of this world is faith. And we're not just talking about a passive belief system here. The source defines it as a deep, conscious, living connection. Something that brings a profound sense of peace and contentment that, and this is crucial, doesn't depend on what's happening around you.
So we kind of end up right back where we started with a big question. The source gives its answer loud and clear, faith. But it leaves a question for every single one of us to think about. In a world where absolutely everything is temporary, what are you going to find that lasts? What will be your anchor? Something to really chew on. Thanks so much for joining me to explore all of this.